touch. Rashford just allowed France to regroup a bit. Malo Gusto, he's the one that gets across, puts in a vital block. I think the goalkeeper would have had it covered either way.
That goal from Declan Rice, by the way, officially 2 minutes 14 seconds. Second fastest goal England have ever scored in a World Cup match, after Brian Robson scored against France in 1982 in Bilbao in the World Cup in 27 seconds. England's goal scorer to take. Chased by Konsa, who did rather well to keep the ball in play. Eze. Watched by Ryan Cherki. England looking lively here. Rodgers. Lovely turn away from Rabiot. Here's Eze. Block made by Hernandez. Collected by Cherki now. In towards Mbappe. Alarm bells are ringing for England, but speed is something that Spence certainly has.
Yeah, I think he's a little bit fortunate. The ball to Mbappe was just a little bit under hit. Mbappe had to wait for it. That gave Jed Spence, of all players for England, that's what France didn't want. They didn't want Jed Spence to be there because he's by far the quickest player at that back line, and he was on it like a flash.
There's space here for Declan Rice. Now Eze. Here's Rashford. Free kick for the foul by Malo Gusto. The whole of the French back line changing for this match. One of those changes, of course, was in force with William Saliba succumbing to his back injury. He'll be out, unfortunately, for quite a while for Arsenal as we look ahead to the new season, as well as having to miss this game.
England will be hoping for a better delivery this time. Previous one from the corner, Declan Rice just hit a couple of minutes ago, was just overhit. Normally his quality into the box is excellent. Now it's a similar position. Got to get a good delivery in.
Rice with the delivery, and Konate there to head clear. Ryan Cherki to collect. He's got Elise ahead of him. Time for Rice to collect.
Well, one of the criticisms that England received, certainly Thomas Tuchel, has been certainly too defensive in the latter stage of that game against Argentina. They've started this game very much on that front foot, almost like with a point to prove that they can be a lot more adventurous and aggressive. France have had to do some defending.
Spence being closed down there by Desiree Doué. This is Mark Gay, who came off the bench late in the opening match against Croatia in the group stage. Seems a long time ago now, and has played every minute since then. Here's Konsa looking for an opening. Almost the perfect pass into Rashford. Lacroix. Konsa losing out to Mbappe. Brilliantly done. Here comes Hernandez. He loves to go venturing forward like this. Doué, Cherki, saved by Henderson, away off the boot of Spence. France suddenly springing to life.
Yeah, there's always a constant threat, isn't there? Whenever France have the ball, they look to go on that front foot. The strike on goal is a decent one. See there, Henderson just tries to get something behind it. Does enough. Gets a bit fortunate also with the rebound. England are able to deal with the danger. It's again warning signs. We all know France are so dangerous going forward.
Konsa. Rodgers, brilliantly done. It's with Bukayo Saka. Saka goes for goal and finds the net. The flag goes up, it won't count.
Yeah, really, I think it's a tight call. It looked like in real time, I thought it was very close. Get a chance to see it. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's just straight offside. The line, we get that is absolutely right. It was a quick check. And France are off again.
Yeah, another warning for France, though, but here they come in this open and entertaining early match as Elise tries to find a way through, and Spence picks out Kwanzaa, who keeps it away from Doué. Saka back to help out. He'll have been particularly frustrated, I'm sure, Bukayo Saka, having not got on the pitch at all in the semi-final, having, when he's fully fit, been such a key player for England.
Yeah, it'd be so disappointed, like, leading up to this World Cup, not ever feels like, and we're not sure whether he's been 100% fit, and it's just taking him time to get going again, which is understandable. He's been such a big player, and he is a fantastic player, and England, I think, have missed him down that right-hand side. We saw just there, Jed Spence, once again, crucial in defending, tracking the runner. France's front three, two interchange all the time, crossing over those darting runs. Players have to stay with runners, and Jed Spence did that once again very, very well.
Rabiot. Here's Konate, just signed for Real Madrid, having left Liverpool. Olise. Lacroix. Now Olise, and still looks for an opening. Spence slams the door in his face. Ivan Toney's fouled. Wants to take it quickly. It's blocked by Lacroix. England will have to take the free kick again.
Yeah, once again, Jed Spence. See that replay of the offside? See there, Saka does go too early. It's unfortunate because it was a good move from England, but correct decision.
Rodgers can't find a way through this time. Zaire Emery. Mbappe. Brilliant. France really carrying a threat here now as they look to come back and draw level. That was Doué sending it out wide. Blocked by Marc Guéhi. France have woken up here, and Mbappe is just starting to get into his stride.
Oh, it was frightening to see Mbappe with a close ball control. That turn of pace just left Kwanzaa in his wake. Delivery in the box was just slightly off.
Hernandez, met by Ivan Toney, which indicates that it is everybody back for England at the moment. First time, really, we've seen the sun here in Miami today.
It's remarkably cooler, if that's what we call it. It's still hot.
It's a relative term here.
It is a relative term. It is still very, very warm, but nothing like England's previous game when they played Norway, how hot that was and humid. This is certainly a lot more manageable for the players. And the England players, having played here already once before, will know the big difference.
Just a reminder as well, with Mbappe looking lively, he's one goal behind Lionel Messi in the all-time World Cup goal-scoring chart. Messi scored 21 goals in his career at the World Cup finals, and Mbappe 20. So he'll be out to make a little bit of World Cup history today, if possible.
Yeah, so we might not be really surprised if he does have opportunities, which maybe has a teammate in a better position, but decides to go himself.
Bit of a tangle there, Spence and Olise on the near side.
Yeah, it's interesting because Jed Spence obviously is clearly up for it, and he's one of those players that I think only knows one way to play it at that level, that intensity. And it's probably the only part on the pitch so far that has that kind of level of intensity, like it's a knockout game.
Bukayo Saka made a great run there through the middle. Forced to track back. Kwanzaa. Okay, he looks to send Rashford on his way. That's easy for Mike Maignan, the French goalkeeper. No No changes for France in goal today, unlike England. They've stuck with Maignan, as they have done throughout the tournament. Zaire Emery into Rabiot. Lovely, skillful play through midfield from France. Gusto available on the near side. Cherki in the vicinity. Rabiot taking control. Looking for Elise. Gay in there quickly. Tony. Rogers finds Eze. The run made by Saka. Saka's away from Lacroix. I think he's onside this time. It's Saka, and Lacroix gets a foot in vitally for France.
Yeah, very good defending in the end. Lacroix does really well, because initially it looks like he's taken out of the game by Saka's weaving run, skills on the ball. This time Saka gets it absolutely spot on with the timing of his run. Just the ball's a little bit wide out for him, needs to come back inside. Lacroix adjusts really well.
Very positive start for England when you consider how crestfallen they were just a few days ago at the end of that match with Argentina and the manner of their defeat.
Yeah, I think they've done really well so far. I mean, obviously, France, you look at France and you think they are still feeling the effects. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Also, the changes can sometimes work against you. For England, it seems to be very positive so far.
In from Rice, and into the back of the net. A second goal for England. Esri Konsa. 2-0 inside the opening 20 minutes of the game.
It's a brilliant header. It really is. It's a delivery. Again, we talked about before, the delivery has to be spot on. And Declan Rice this time gets it absolutely right. Constant makes that run to that near post. The depth of touches, and it just basically hops into that far post corner area. Goalkeeper has no chance whatsoever. So difficult to react to that. And England are very good for the 2-0 lead.
Well, he will have been disappointed to have been left out of the starting 11 for the semi-final the other day, but the perfect response, Esri Konsa. That's a wonderful header.
Yeah, it's very, very good. So difficult for the goalkeeper to react. Rabiot's in his way as well, doesn't really see it till late. So difficult to react from a header from that sort of distance. And for England, it is the perfect start.
Absolutely. Konsa's here's Eze now. Gusto gets in ahead of him. Free kick, France. Swept forward by Hernandez, and Henderson was alert to that situation. Ousmane Dembele among those watching on at the moment. Among those on the bench for England, by the way, they're two star men from this World Cup, Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham, who've both scored 6 goals each here.
A very, very different one in terms of encouraging them to continue to be adventurous, continue to go forward. This France side at this moment in time are there to be punished by even more.
Here's the opening goal.
Declan Rice, he picks that ball up really well, does well to intercept. There's a potential counter-attack from France, and then as he continued to make his move towards the France goal, it just opened up more and more for him. Players dropped off, just gave him allow him space to have a strike, and then when he has that
players are
enough really from the quality that they possess. France have a lot to do to try and get themselves back in.
You just wonder whether Spencer's certainly claimed ownership of the left-back spot for the immediate future anyway, potentially, with his performances in the last couple of games.
I think he's been very, very good at this World Cup for England. There were certainly question marks leading up to it about whether or not he's the right man to play in that position, but I think he's answered a lot of critics by his performances at this World Cup. Certainly in the latter stages, he's grown into it. I think
versatility as well, both sides.
Definitely, yeah. He's got that ability. He's a real athlete. He's a very good footballer. We've seen that time and time again, and I think he's grown in maturity.
He's also had Thomas Tuchel in his ear quite loudly, hasn't he, at various points earlier in the tournament during matches.
But I think Thomas Tuchel's managed him very, very well. I know he's received a lot of criticism, Thomas Tuchel, in this tournament, certainly in the latter stage, in the way England have lost that semi-final against Argentina. But I think there are certainly positives to be taken, and one of them is the way in which he's dealt with Jed Spence, the emergence of Jed Spence under Thomas Tuchel.
Ezri Konsa. Here's Rice. Into Rodgers, trying to get away from Rabiot, can't manage it. Collected by Warren Zaire-Emery, into Desiree Doué, who's looking for Kylian Mbappe, and the block is made by Mark Gay in the nick of time for England.
Yeah, big defending there from Mark Gay on the line. I think Dean Henderson gets the vital block initially.
Flag has gone up on the near side.
Yes, it has, yeah, and I think, obviously, neither the player, the goalkeeper, nor Mark Gay would have known that. We'll see this run into the box. It's very, very tight, isn't it? There you go. Dean Henderson does really well initially, and of course needed his centre half to help cover. Mark Gay does it really well.
Zaire-Emery also with a challenge on Hernandez on the far side. This is Lacroix. He's had a good couple of seasons with Crystal Palace, winning the FA Cup last year, the UEFA Conference League this year. Spence in a bit of a tight corner and just shoulder charge to the floor there by the sturdy figure of Rabiot. Doué in possession. France on the front foot, looking for a route back into this bronze medal game. Mbappe looking for Malo Gusto. Here's Olise. London-born, had plenty of options in terms of who he could choose to play for, but for him it was always France. And he's in space on the edge of the box, and now he has the ball. Excellent improvisation cut out by Marc Guéhi.
Yeah, once again, very well positioned from Guéhi. England at the moment are containing France reasonably well. Just worry that if France start to lift the gears, are England able to go with them? But at the moment, they're comfortable and they're in control of this match.
Thomas Tuchel quite vocal there and on the edge of his technical area. Exchange between Ivan Toney and Eberezer, but France have it, and Olise sends it into Mbappe, who's away from Spence, and finally it's England's captain Declan Rice who gets it off him.
Yeah, it's good double team defending in the end. Jed Spence knew he couldn't challenge him. He was from behind almost. It was Declan Rice came across, and once he came across, Jed Spence and Declan Rice were able to close the door, preventing Mbappe a free run on the ball.
Marcus Rashford. England with 5 attempts on goal inside the opening half an hour of this match. That's as many as they managed in the whole of the semi-final against Argentina. Different kind of game, of course. Here's Guéhi, cut out by Rabiot, only as far as Bukayo Saka. Rice. Konsa. Doué pressing, and Gerald Konsa on the ground over on the far side. It's going to be England's ball. England go in search of a third goal. Eberezer looking for Spence. Olise picking up the pieces, which rather kindly fell his way.
I think Eze got caught out by Jed Spence's pace. Once he started to really put a shift in, Eze's ball just wasn't up to the pace to get in the path of Jed Spence.
2 goals in this bronze medal match so far. The average for this fixture all time is nearly 4 per game, as Rodgers finds Rashford. Saka is well forward here. Rashford's done brilliantly. He's going to have a crack and bring the best out of Mike Maignan. Beautifully struck there by Marcus Rashford, flag up on the far side. But Maignan suddenly called into action.
Yeah, it was brilliant from Marcus Rashford. Really good skills. Creates the opportunity for himself, decides as he looks up to have a shot from goal, and he hits it with some real power. Bit of dip on that in the end. Maignan in the end wanted to make sure, get it away from the danger area.
Mbappe's touch into Cherki, challenged by Rice. England dominating possession for the moment. Spence. Little pull on Ryan Cherki's shirt there. That'll be a free kick to France. He's a handful, isn't he, Cherki? We've been watching him in English football this past season, his first campaign with Manchester City.
I just want to see the tempo for France lift a little bit more.
Opening up for them here, and it's Mbappe up against Konsa. Mbappe saved by Henderson.
Yeah, very good save. Does really, really well. Mbappe goes for that open side. Sometimes you feel like he's going to go back across the near post area. I think it's the defending that makes up Mbappe's mind, and Henderson reads it really well. Gets some solid hands behind it.
Elise losing out to Saka. Rodgers making ground down the near side. Trying to pick the pass away. And doing so. It's Rashford, it's Saka, it's an opportunity. Maignan. Way off his line, and it doesn't fall for Rodgers. The misstep enables France to take it over the halfway line themselves with Elise.
Yeah, missed opportunity for England.
Here comes Mbappe. 4 England players trying to converge on him. Rice diving in. Goodness me, I mean, it's an obvious thing to say, but what a handful he is when he gets going, Mbappe.
Yeah, he's pretty frightening on the ball in England. You can see they're very, very keen to try and get a challenge in early, try and prevent him from getting any kind of opportunity to run at them.
Bit of space here for Ryan Cherki. He was looking for Malo Gusto. Back out to Cherki. Emery, Elise, lovely flowing play. Cherki across. Rabiot was up there at the far post. Henderson able to make the block. Saka collects, and away goes Marcus Rashford. England on the counter. Maignan makes the save. Collected by Saka. Rashford has it. France at 6s and 7s. It's 3-0. Bukayo Saka. What a first half for England in the bronze medal game. Third place is theirs for the taking now, which would be England's best finish for 60 years.
Oh, absolute excellent play from England. Rashford and Saka, they just did not stop, did they? They were so persistent. I mean, I thought at one stage France had done enough. They defended so well. Scrambled really well. The goalkeeper made a very good save. Defenders left, right and centre defending well. And it all starts from Henderson, that vital interception. Saka's ball was brilliant. In behind. As Rashford gets in there, you feel like there's a big chance for him. Maignan does so well. The defending was scrambling, was doing so well once again for France. And Rashford and Saka never once panicked. In the end, good finish from Saka.
Well, as first half performances go, this is the perfect response from England to their intense disappointment in the manner of their defeat to Argentina. France were at 6s and 7s there, weren't they, as they say?
Yeah, they were. I mean, initially I thought they did really well to get back in numbers. So just checking possibly, well, it's offside. No, it's definitely a goal.
Wow.
There's a couple of times there you felt like it was dealt with. I think France probably felt they dealt with it. And England just kept going and going. Saka and Rashford were so persistent, and that persistence in the end pays off.
Saka's had a really good first half, hasn't he, actually? He's got in great positions. There's been some excellent play from him. Player no doubt stung by his absence from the semi-final the other day, and here he goes again. More pressure on the French defence, and Lacroix is able to clear, but only as far as Quonset. It's the first time England have scored 3 goals against France for quite a long time, since they met in the World Cup in Spain in 1982. 13 times the two nations have met since then. And in the modern era, it's been France who certainly have dominated. England have only managed 1 victory in the last 9 meetings, but they're rampant here in this first half.
Yeah, I mean, France haven't been anywhere near good enough. They haven't woken up yet. It's been a really poor performance in this opening half from France. But for England, they've been very good.
There's the match momentum. Forward off the boot of Gusto. Run made by Doué. He's going to get a free kick there. Quonset judged to have been a little too hands-on. Say quick with a kick.
Showing the offside. There was a check, of course, to see whether or not Rashford was offside. You can see clearly there he's not. And England thoroughly deserved to be 3-0 up.
Here come England again now with Bukayo Saka. Rodgers is in the middle. Eza is up there in the box too, and it's behind for a goal kick. France are reeling at the moment after this 3-goal show from England. They've never conceded 3 goals in the first half of a match at a World Cup finals ever before.
Well, if they're not careful, they're going to concede more, because they are yet to really waken up and come into this game. You can see even on the bench, there's no real movement. France have just been completely outplayed at the moment and exposed.
Well, it's opening up here for Malo Gusto. Mbappe in the middle, Doué on the far side, and Rice covering plenty of ground in this first half with an important interception. Here's Saka. He's going to look for Rashford. There's lots of room out there. Ivan Toney in the middle. Support arriving. It's into Ivan Toney, and it was an excellent-looking opportunity.
Oh, it's a big chance. It goes through Konaté's legs. That's probably what catches Ivan Toney out. He feels like it's ever going to reach him, but it does.
Here comes Mbappe. He's got Marc Guéhi for company. Cherki misplaced. Just not happening for France in this first half. The 2018 World Cup winners won it in 1998 as hosts as well, of course. They were the last team to win the tournament as hosts. Beaten in an epic final in Qatar 4 years ago by Argentina. Here's Toney, and now with Guéhi. Inch perfect. Here's Bukayo Saka, who already has scored the 300th goal of this World Cup, with England's 3rd in the match. Into Toney.
Yeah, one of the rare times that England haven't been on the same page at the moment with one another, because at this moment in time, it's just been... everything's just worked for them. We see that Declan Rice started the goal feast of this first half for England with a really nice finish, and he was the provider for the second. Quonset with a really nice header. And of course the Rashford-Saka combination to make it 3-0.
Malo Gusto with the throw. Here's Elise, who's just gone up several levels, you sense, the last couple of years with Bayern Munich.
Yeah, he's been exceptional. I think for him, it's been you look him as a player in the last 2 games against Spain, and then so far in this first 45 minutes, hasn't been at that level. But that's overall as a team performance for France, haven't been there. And it just feels like if they're not careful, this game could really run away from them.
Lise finding Gusto. He's available for the return ball. It's too far in front of Cherki and too far behind both Rabiot and Olise. Here comes Rodgers, who's got a spring in his step with a big move, it seems, very much on the horizon at the start of next week. Jet Spence. Here's Rashford. Rodgers had made a run through the middle.
Yeah, they've been doing it all this first 40 minutes or 45 minutes or so in this game. England, those runs in behind have caught France out on a number of occasions. Doesn't seem like it's going to stop either.
Too much by way of goal-scoring opportunity for Kylian Mbappe in this first half, of course. He's on 8 with 3 assists. Lionel Messi is on 8 with a couple of assists, so it's really tight in the race for the Golden Boot. Messi will be lining up for the final for Argentina against Spain tomorrow, so Mbappe will be desperate to try to add to his tally. A minimum of 4 additional minutes coming now at the end of this opening half. England's free kick for the challenge on Jet Spence. What an opening half it's been for Thomas Tuchel's team.
Yeah, probably a little bit too much of a boot on the back of the heels there from Gusto on Jet Spence. And England, I think, are happy enough to see this first half out, maintain that 3-goal lead. For France, they'll be desperately hoping for this break to come sooner rather than later.
It's a lovely turn from Eze and a brilliant pass into Saka. Oh, it's 4! Saka's second of the game. It's a first half demolition of France by England. And the French players are looking stunned for the second time in the space of less than a week. And it is not going to be such a fond farewell match for their head coach Didier Deschamps. A disastrous first half for France.
It's once again England straight through the middle. Pretty simple. I mean, Eze's ball's really good. Saka's finish is exceptional. But it's very basic, very simple football that France have just been asleep at. It's a very good finish. Can't keep giving players of that quality, of Saka's quality, these sort of opportunities. And England are running away with this. And this is going to be a long old afternoon for France at this rate.
Well, new ground here, new territory that they won't enjoy, France. It's the first time they've ever been 4 goals behind at a World Cup. Here's Zaire Emery. Saka with 2 for England in this first half. Scored 2 in a game against Iran in the group stage previously. And here comes Ivan Toney. Surely it's not going to get even worse for France before the break. And Saka unable to find Marcus Rashford on this occasion.
Yeah, I think Rashford stopped, sort of drifted in the offside position. Ball was a bit late to him. For France, you're right. This is turning out to be a nightmare first 45 minutes.
England winning the ball far too easily there. Rodgers collecting into Ivan Toney. It's going to be a corner. England on the front foot all the way to the half-time whistle here. Well, I bet they can't quite believe what they're seeing from their team.
No, it's been disastrous, hasn't it, in the first 45 minutes. They've defended terribly, not been up to scratch. They haven't been up to the pace of the game, just been allowing way too many gaps. Easy running in behind by England. Yes, England have got to have the intent, and they've shown that. They've been clinical when given the opportunity. You've got to give them credit for that, definitely. France have been nowhere near it good enough.
Plenty of slumped shoulders out there for France at the moment. What an extraordinary scoreline here in this bronze medal game.
Don't think anyone would have predicted a 4-0 lead to England at half-time.
Saka looks to be the provider this time. Maignan gets his fist to the ball. France will have a free kick, bit of respite for their defence. An incredible first half. One to forget for France. A feeble first 45 for them. The Three Lions running rampant here. At half-time, France 0, England 4.
Ini yang saya sukai, berekspresi, membawa pesan yang positif. Kalau panas dalam, bantu redakan dengan yang ada badannya.
Mie sedap kap, rawit bingit. Cabai rawitnya asli, dijamin gigit. Coba ini, ayam jerit. Rawitnya bikin jari, yang pedas gurihnya pecah. Bakso beleduk atau kari mercon yang meledak di mulut. Literally, pedasnya juara. Cobain nendangnya mie sedap kap, rawit bingit dari Wings Food.
Ya, Inggris sukses berdominasi di 45 menit babak yang pertama. Tampil begitu percaya diri dan sudah unggul telak atas Prancis sebelum jeda. Hasil sementara 4-0 Inggris berhadapan dengan Prancis. Bung Dwi.
Iya, kita lihat garis pertahanan Prancis tuh tinggi banget ya. Kayaknya mereka udah nggak peduli lagi dengan pertahanan gitu. Mereka mencoba mencoba mendorong Mbappe supaya bisa mencetak gol untuk mengejar gelar top scorer. Tapi itu jadi makanan empuk kalau buat saya ya, buat Inggris ya. Karena setelah gol pertama bagaimana Declan Rice bisa memotong umpan operan dari pemain Prancis. Kemudian gol-gol berikutnya tercipta begitu mudah. Ini pertandingan yang kalau saya bilang di babak pertama tadi sangat mudah buat Inggris. Inggris mengeksploitasi pertahanan Prancis yang memang kacau balau ya Nat ya.
Ya, kalau kita lihat memang Prancis di jalannya babak yang pertama tidak menemukan sentuhan terbaik ya sebetulnya Reza.
Jadi kalau kita lihat motivasinya jadi agak bingung sebenarnya buat Prancis ya. Padahal Mbappe sempat posting ini last dance-nya buat Didier Deschamps. Tapi kalau yang mereka tunjukkan sejauh ini mereka justru minim motivasi untuk bisa tampil dengan baik. Bahkan tadi kita lihat ketika masuk ke tunnel Mbappe pun tertawa bersama dengan Thomas Tuchel ya mantan pelatihnya. Jadi
seperti nggak ada
seperti tidak menyesali ya bagaimana skor yang ada di babak pertama. Karena Prancis ini bahkan dalam sejarah mereka di Piala Dunia tidak pernah kalah lebih dari 3 gol. Satu-satunya kekalahan dengan 3 gol yang tadi kita bahas sebelum pertandingan 5-2 tahun 58 menghadapi Brazil. Dan itu satu-satunya kekalahan dengan 3 gol dari Prancis. Tapi kita dengar dulu interview.
I have to be honest, no frustration. I'm a little bit emotional. I can't find the words to describe just how proud I am of these players. They're playing a game with broken hearts. I see 11 lads out on the field with broken hearts. I've seen them in the hotel the last 2 days, broken hearts. And what we find, they can build a performance like that just through pride of playing for England. The team spirit we've built the last 7 weeks, it's just been a privilege to watch. And I know what the cynics will say, it's too late, but we still play against a world-class opponent. And that 45 minutes, I'm so proud of the boys. Of course, there's 45 minutes to go, the game's not done, anything can happen, but in isolation, I'm proud of the team, and hopefully everyone back home is as well.
Thanks, Anthony.
Thank you.
Ya, baiklah pemirsa, kalau kita lihat memang dari statistik di jalannya babak yang pertama lebih dikuasai jelas oleh Inggris ya kalau kita lihat angka-angka ini, Bung Dwi.
Kita lihat begitu mudah mereka menciptakan peluang ya dengan 10 tembakan, 7 on target.
7 on target.
Ini mungkin kemenangan yang dipersembahkan oleh Inggrisnya Arsenal nih, karena Declan Rice 1 gol, 1 assist, Bukayo Saka 2 gol, Eze juga bikin assist. Ini babak pertama 4-0 nih hasil dari kontribusi pemain-pemain Arsenal nih.
Pas banget nih kita lihat ya bagaimana penampilan head to head dari Kylian Mbappe dan juga Bukayo Saka. Mbappe dengan attempts-nya tadi 3-1 yang on target, sementara Bukayo Saka ada 3 ya. Dari 4 percobaan 3 yang on target dan sukses menciptakan brace sejauh ini di babak pertama tadi.
Iya, bahkan harusnya bisa hat-trick karena tadi ada satu momen lain ya, di mana dia 1 lawan 1 dengan Maignan. Sedangkan untuk Prancis dari 5 tembakan 3 dari Mbappe. Ini lagi menunjukkan kalau memang Prancis sebenarnya ingin mencoba membuat Mbappe bisa menjadi pencetak gol terbanyak di turnamen ini.
Ya, sementara kalau kita lihat alur serangan di jalannya babak yang pertama tadi memang lebih banyak dari sisi sayap.
Sayap, betul. Dan ini ya secara kebetulan ini pertama kalinya Inggris menurunkan Rashford dan Saka sebagai starter ya.
Ini menarik.
Iya. Saka selama turnamen banyak diganggu oleh masalah fisik, begitu juga Rashford ya agak kurang bisa bersaing ya dengan pemain lain. Tapi begitu ini mungkin tanda-tanda yang lantas bisa membuat supporter Inggris kayak apa ya? Menyalahkan Tuchel gitu. Nih lihat kalau misalnya Rashford sama Saka main bareng gitu. Barangkali seperti itu.
Akan selalu ada what if sebetulnya ya Reza ya.
Iya, ini jadi Thomas Tuchel sebenarnya serba salah ya.
Iya.
Kalah akan makin dikritik, menang pun akan banyak yang nanti membanding-bandingkan.
Iya,
Tapi setidaknya secara performa inilah yang diinginkan oleh Thomas Tuchel ya. Dan ini momen kunci saya rasa ketika skor 0-0 Declan Rice luar biasa. Dia melakukan intercept, dia melakukan dribble, dan dia menciptakan gol. Jadi literally dia melakukan semuanya sendirian di momen ini, dan ini yang membuat pada akhirnya tadi sempat kita bahas ya, walaupun sebelum laga ini mungkin yang menjadi pencetak gol terbanyak kan Jude Bellingham dan juga Harry Kane, tapi peran dari Declan Rice sebenarnya nggak kalah penting buat Inggris. Dan kalau kita bandingkan di bangku cadangan nggak ada yang secara tipe benar-benar mirip dengan Declan Rice.
Ya, kalau kita lihat memang ini menjadi momen kunci ya, seperti yang dikatakan Reza tadi, dimulai dari gol cepat Declan Rice yang penampilannya begitu sangat baik bagi tim Inggris tadi di babak pertama.
Betul. Dan ini semakin membuka pertahanan dari Prancis ya. Mereka tertinggal, mereka pasti ingin mencoba cepat-cepat mencetak gol balasan, tapi itu malah jadi bumerang ketika garis pertahanan Prancis begitu tinggi ya, dan itu sangat dimanfaatkan oleh Inggris terutama dengan Saka dan Rashford di sayap kanan maupun kiri.
Kita lihat ya bagaimana sekali lagi kecepatan yang dimiliki oleh Declan Rice, kejelihan dan juga eksekusi ya yang sangat baik dari pemain ini Reza.
Iya, dapat diperdebatkan dia sekarang jadi salah satu gelandang terbaik di dunia sebenarnya ya. Bagaimana impactnya bersama dengan Arsenal, dia ditebus begitu mahal dari West Ham United, tapi dia menunjukkan kapabilitas yang dia miliki. Dan kalau dulu kita mungkin melihat Declan Rice sebagai sosok defensif midfielder tradisional ya, tapi sekarang kita secara skill dan atribut benar-benar lengkap ya. Bahkan dia bisa menjadi pencetak gol dari tendangan bebas. Kita lihat ketika menghadapi Real Madrid di Liga Champions, dia bisa menjadi free kick taker, corner kick taker. Jadi memang sangat lengkap. Termasuk ini dia, satu corner kick yang diambil juga benar-benar dieksekusi dengan sempurna.
Ya, gimana nih Bung Dwi melihat satu corner kick yang langsung bisa dimanfaatkan dengan sangat baik ya oleh Inggris.
Betul. Dan ini menunjukkan bahwa memang pertahanan Prancis di dini hari ini memang berantakan sekali. Bahkan dengan bola hidup pun juga mudah sekali dijebol, dan ini juga lewat bola mati juga tidak tampil optimal gitu. Padahal kalau kita lihat dari tinggi badan pastinya cukup seimbang seharusnya ya back-back dari Prancis untuk bisa mencegah konsa, untuk bisa mencetak gol. Tapi di sini kita lihat yang menjaga konsa malah adalah Adrien Rabiot. Di situ seorang gelandang. Sedangkan ya ini mungkin absennya Saliba juga pastinya juga akan memberikan pengaruh ya, karena bagaimanapun Saliba dan Upamecano adalah pilihan utama dari Deschamps, dan sekarang dia bermain dengan pilihan kedua yang memang Ibrahima Konate sejak awal turnamen memang sudah diragukan bisa tampil optimal karena kondisi fisiknya juga tidak terlalu bugar ya.
Ya, memang kehilangan ada nama-nama penting juga terkadang mempengaruhi jelas ya Reza ya. Apalagi kalau kita lihat yang jadi satu masalah dari Prancis di jalannya babak pertama adalah lini belakang mereka sejauh ini. Iya,
dan jadi kalau kita melihat ya Lacroix dengan Konate jadi combo yang begitu mudah untuk bisa dilewati oleh lini serang dari Inggris, termasuk di momen-momen set piece seperti ini rasanya terlalu mudah karena ini sangat sederhana ya kita lihat. Jadi ada corner kick yang dilakukan Rice, ada kemudian screening yang dilakukan membuat Ezri Konsa terlepas dan kemudian Konsa bisa menciptakan gol. Dan ketika Prancis mencoba untuk memberikan gol balasan kita lihat hanya dengan satu umpan Bukayo Saka bisa melepaskan Marcus Rashford. Sekitar 2 menit sebelum ini juga ada momen seperti ini yang gagal dimanfaatkan oleh Bukayo Saka, dan sebenarnya Menyong sudah melakukan segalanya. Dia melakukan penyelamatan tapi kita lihat bola terus kembali sampai akhirnya ada kesempatan ketiga yang bisa dimanfaatkan oleh Bukayo Saka di momen ini.
Ya, ini yang tadi Bung Dwi sempat katakan ya, Saka, ada Rashford di sana dan penampilan dari Saka juga kerja sama tim yang sangat baik.
Betul, betul, dan ini kita bisa melihat bagaimana proses terjadinya gol. Garis pertahanan Prancis sangat tinggi. Semua pemainnya meninggalkan daerah pertahanan mereka. Semua pemain berada di wilayahnya Inggris ya, sehingga mereka cukup kelabakan ketika satu operan membuat Rashford bisa melaju di sayap kiri dan kita lihat tertinggal sangat jauh back-back dari Prancis.
Ya, akhirnya menciptakan satu gol tambahan lagi bagi Inggris lewat Saka tadi ya di menit ke-37. Nanti kita akan saksikan lagi karena Inggris ternyata tidak puas dengan 3 gol yang sudah diciptakan. Tambahan gol lagi tentunya dari Saka tadi ya di tambahan waktu tadi.
Ini gol yang Arsenal banget. Gol yang
Arsenal banget.
Gol yang saya rasa akan membuat Mikel Arteta di rumahnya tersenyum lebar.
Pasti,
karena
anak
kita lihat
didiknya nih.
Betul, bagaimana prosesnya. Ini kan Arsenal sering main seperti ini, main tanpa sosok striker murni. Jadi kalau kita lihat di momen ini, Ivan Toney, dia bergerak melebar, memberikan ruang dan kemudian Eze melihat Saka, ini bergerak dari kanan ke tengah dan Theo Hernandez tadi terlambat untuk bisa mengejar Saka, dan kalau kita memang Theo jadi salah satu titik lemah ya. Lagi-lagi mungkin nanti ketika Zidane masuk, salah satu permasalahan terbesarnya adalah siapa yang akan mengisi posisi bek kiri karena Luka Digne dan juga Theo Hernandez tampaknya memang kalau kita bandingkan dengan posisi lain ya tampak jadi kelemahan di posisi tersebut.
Iya. Di jalannya babak pertama bukan hanya Arteta yang tersenyum melihat ini, tapi mungkin Bung Gita juga ya di rumah nonton melihat penampilan dari Inggris sejauh ini.
Hampir nyebut Arsenal.
Hampir nyebut Arsenal, tergocek saya. Tapi kita lihat ya penampilan yang memang luar biasa. Mungkin banyak orang yang tidak menyangka juga ya di perebutan peringkat ketiga, apalagi dari tadi pada saat pre-match pun kita sudah bicarakan bahwa pertandingan ini mungkin tetap akan penting bagi Prancis yang merupakan laga terakhir mereka bersama dengan Deschamps.
Iya, sangat disayangkan ya ketinggalan 0-4 di babak pertama ini, walaupun ini ya mungkin pertandingan yang tidak terlalu menentukan lagi ya, tapi bagaimanapun juga ini pertandingan resmi, pertandingan kompetitif. Seharusnya Prancis tidak mengalami kejadian seperti ini. Sebaliknya Inggris juga mungkin jangan terlalu jemawa juga ya. Mungkin akan ada yang bilang ini kemana permainan seperti ini waktu menghadapi Argentina Tapi kita harus ingat ini pertandingan yang intensitasnya juga pastinya jauh berbeda dari semifinal kemarin. Ini banyak dibantu juga Inggris oleh buruknya pertahanan dari Prancis sehingga ya ini sebuah hasil yang bagus. Mungkin kesempatan juga buat Inggris untuk mengukir rekor baru kemenangan terbesar mereka di Piala Dunia ya. Karena selama ini 6-1 atas Panama. Jadi mungkin kalau mereka bisa mencetak 3 gol lagi di babak kedua, ini akan menjadi rekor baru buat timnas Inggris ya.
Memungkinkan nggak tuh Reza tambahan?
Ya kalau ngelihat main seru di babak pertama sebenarnya sangat memungkinkan ya, tapi nanti kita akan tunggu juga. Karena ini jadi kesempatan juga buat Inggris mungkin memberikan kesempatan kepada pemain-pemain yang sebelumnya jarang mendapatkan kesempatan bermain.
Ini penting,
Termasuk kan Dean Henderson hari ini menjawab ya kepercayaan dari pelatih. Masih ada Trevoh Chalobah yang belum bermain, masih ada juga Oli Watkins yang baru main
Ya.
sebentar, sayangnya lagi-lagi Mainu ini harusnya main ya, tapi dia justru mendapatkan cedera sebelum pertandingan penting ini.
Iya, tadi kamera juga sudah menyoroti Harry Kane, apakah nanti akan masuk lagi di babak yang
Bisa
kedua?
jadi, bisa
Masih
jadi.
menjadi pilihan juga ya. Tapi sementara bagi Prancis sendiri, apa yang mungkin bisa dilakukan untuk babak kedua, Bung?
Yang pasti Perancis tadi Reza udah bilang kemenangan terbesar ya, Rez ya. Kekalahan terbesar itu kebobolan 5, jangan sampai mereka kebobolan 2 lah. Pasti sekarang udah pasti kalah lah. Ini Perancis kayaknya sih akan
Sulit
kalah
ya
gitu
untuk
ya.
bisa balikin keadaan.
45 menit kedua mencetak 4 gol menyamakan kedudukan ini pasti agak berat gitu. Tapi paling tidak mereka harus menjaga jangan terlalu memalukan gitu. Karena ini kita bicara tim yang menjadi juara Piala Dunia 2018, kemudian runner up 2022. Kalau menutup 2026 dengan kemenangan telak seperti ini itu tidak akan bagus ya. Buat Deschamps juga ini juga catatan yang tadi Nat bilang. Seharusnya ini pertandingan terakhir yang seharusnya memberikan hasil yang jauh lebih baik daripada ini.
Tapi saya rasa memang di perebutan peringkat ketiga ini bukan hasil yang diharapkan juga oleh Deschamps ya.
Yang menarik, Nat, tadi ketika Anthony Berry ya kita dengarkan asisten pelatih dari Inggris, diwawancara dia terharu dengan penampilan anak asuhnya di 45 menit pertama. Bahkan dia bilang, saya melihat 11 pemain di lapangan dengan hati yang patah. Jadi memang yang paling bahaya menghadapi orang-orang yang sedang patah hati ya, karena justru mereka bisa keluar dari tekanan dan memberikan penampilan terbaik.
Nah, ini salah satu buktinya ya. 4-0 di perebutan peringkat ketiga. Seperti apa ya, Inggris bermain dengan nothing tulus gitu, tapi justru dengan hal seperti itu membuat mereka bisa mendominasi ya dengan hasil di babak pertama. Dinya sepertinya
kelihatannya akan main.
akan
Theo
dipersiapkan
Hernandez
untuk babak
kayaknya
kedua
akan
nih.
diganti ya. Benar kata Reza tadi. Theo ini agak memang dari dulu ya Theo kita kenal sebagai pemain yang fullback yang sangat bagus ketika membantu menyerang, tapi ketika bertahan dia seringkali meninggalkan posnya dan terlambat turun. Kemungkinan Theo yang akan digantikan oleh Lucas Digne.
Pickford juga menarik nih ya, kita akan lihat. Tapi sementara kita akan membahas tentang pertandingan di babak yang kedua yang nantinya akan kita saksikan bersama. Kalau gitu kami akan langsung mengantar Anda pemirsa untuk kembali menyaksikan jalannya pertandingan babak yang kedua. Prancis berhadapan dengan Inggris babak yang kedua langsung dari Miami Stadium. Dari studio kami mengucapkan selamat menyaksikan.
Ini yang saya sukai, berekspresi, membawa pesan yang positif. Kalau panas dalam, bantu redakan dengan yang ada badannya.
The FIFA World Cup is coming, and we can't wait.
Berasal dari air pegunungan, murni dan kat, berat amat iklannya, yang ringan aja lah. Dengan pH seimbang, rasanya ringan di tenggorokan, bikin nyaman di lambung. Kristalin, bikin hidup lebih ringan.
Kapan nikah? Makin berumur loh. Berat amat pertanyaannya, ya ringan aja lah.
Dengan pH seimbang, rasanya ringan di tenggorokan, bikin nyaman di lambung. Kristalin, bikin hidup lebih ringan.
We're also seeing Ryan Cherky off with Dembele on and Bradley Barcola on as well for the French. The one change for England, Watkins replacing Marcus Rashford. So England with a 4-goal lead after an outstanding first half. France looking to restore some measure of pride after an embarrassing opening 45 minutes.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something very drastic in this second half because they were nowhere good enough. That's why Didier Deschamps has made 4 substitutions at half-time. They are now all about saving face. And who knows, maybe trying to get back in this game, if that's at all possible.
So England get us underway at the start of the second period. This is Quansah, back to Quansah. Quansah, one of the goal scorers in the first half. It's the first time England have put 4 goals past France since they won a match 5-0 against them in 1969. Here comes Jed Spence. Be quite some comeback if France do find a route back into this game. It's never happened before. No one's come back from a 4-goal deficit.
I mean, yeah, it is a huge challenge, one that, like you're saying, is almost impossible.
Worth noting as well, Bukayo Saka on a hat-trick after his first 2 goals in the first half, scoring a brace in the 37th and the 45th minute of the game. Offside against Dembele, one of the 4 substitutes brought on by Didier Deschamps. Deschamps' 186th and final game in charge of France today. Won 120 of the previous 185. Quansah in ahead of Mbappe. Here's Warren Zaire-Emery. Out-hustled, out-manoeuvred. Gay finds Rice in space. Watkins will have been straining at the leash to get a game, won't he, Mark? He's only played like 6 minutes in one of the other matches much earlier in the tournament. He's sitting there on the bench. Ivan Toney as well. It's his first start in the World Cup today, having come on in injury time in the semi-final. Malo Gusto into Dembele. Rice once more for England.
Yeah, there already feels like a more positive approach from France in this second 45 minutes. Certainly more intent, more intensity.
Watkins losing out. Purposeful play by Pamecano into Elise. Here's Mbappe! Goal number 9 of this World Cup for the French star, who leads the way in the race for the Golden Boot.
It's the first time in this game France have shown some real energy and some real pace getting forward, more directiveness. Elise's ball to Mbappe was brilliant. Mbappe's run and first time finish gave Dean Henderson absolutely no chance, and it is the perfect start for France in this second half.
So a 9th goal at this World Cup and a 21st goal at the World Cup finals in his career already, which equals the all-time record of Lionel Messi. He's also reached that landmark in 11 matches fewer than the Argentinian. Here comes Mbappe once more. What a blistering start to the second half from France. They need it, though, after that first half showing. This is Elise. That'll give France a little bit of heart right at the start of the second half. 48th minute goal.
Well, it's exactly the response that Didier Deschamps would have been hoping for.
Elise. No joy from Mbappe on this occasion. Quansah gets the better of him and Rice is able to take it clear. Rogers. It's away from Barcola. This is Quansah, now Saka. Watkins quick to shoot.
Yeah, difficult angle, a bit far out, and also not quite had the pace of the ball to actually get on the end of it. A little bit behind him as he struck it.
Good running down the far side by Elise. This is a different looking France here right at the start of the second half. It's Elise, and it's gathered by Henderson off the deflection.
Yeah, Yeah, good reaction from Dean Henderson. That came in very, very quickly. Difficult because of deflection. As it, or ricochet, makes it so difficult to make the save. Reacts really well, but again, early indications this second half show England they cannot let up. They don't approach this game with the right attitude and the right intent and intensity. Similar could happen to them what they did to France in that first 45.
Coutinho getting up there against Bukayo Saka. Rabiot away from Ivan Toney. Olise looks for Mbappe, won by Konsa and blasted wide by Rabiot.
So Watkins gets caught in possession. Upamecano, just the directness of his run. Olise's pass in behind Konsa was perfectly weighted, and of course Mbappe, you give him an opportunity from that distance. First time finish, more often not, and ends up in the back of the net.
There we are, Mbappe leading the goal-scoring charts, the race for the Golden Boot here at this World Cup. So Messi's got to find the net at least tomorrow in the final. Just gets away from Rodgers. Olise's touch. Mbappe, France going through the gears here now, but Konsa with the head start against Olise. Here comes Jed Spence. Great run by Upamecano in the build-up there for France. Leading up to the strike from Kylian Mbappe. First player to score 9 at the World Cup, in a single World Cup for a long time actually, since 1970, Gerd Müller, the famous German striker. This shows how impressive that return is. Gusto, now Maxence Lacroix. Suddenly France playing with renewed purpose here.
Yeah, now it's up to England to react. England can't do what France did in that first half. When England lifted intensity, France just backed off. France weren't able to go with them. This second half, England have to match them, otherwise they're going to find it a very uncomfortable second 45 minutes.
Yeah, Dembele almost threading it through, but here comes Eberi Eze. Oh, it's wonderful play. Eze for England, and all that was missing was a finishing touch.
Oh, wow, that was almost brilliant. I mean, the run itself was exceptional. I think he just panicked a little bit when he goes for his shot on goal. But Eze, what a talent, what a mazy run that was.
A brilliant burst through the middle there from the Arsenal player. Rabiot, here's Mbappe. Beautifully weighted. Barcola, great chance. They've got 2. Is the comeback on? 2 goals inside the opening 9 minutes of the second half. And the game suddenly has a different feel at 4-2.
We said it, if they don't match France in this second half, England are going to find it very, very uncomfortable. And France are a different team. They've got turn of pace and energy now. The ball in behind is exceptional. Barcola's finish is brilliant. And France have given themselves real hope.
And from England's point of view, they'll need to get a grip on this, won't they, Mark? Because France will fancy it even at 2 goals behind at this stage. The way that they're playing.
I think they fancied it at the start of the second half, even with 4-0 down. This is a France side that have the ability to hurt you, and they're showing a very, very different France side in this opening couple of minutes of this second half.
Dunia wins the header. Rabiot jabbing it forward. Eze, Rice. England looking to just settle down again a little bit. So good in that opening 45. Rodgers with nowhere to go, but didn't worry him. Free kick.
Yeah, England don't just have to not panic. Yes, the game, the intensity has lifted. France have got nothing to lose. They've got the ability to throw caution to the wind. And of course, they've got world-class players on their side. So you've got to stay composed, disciplined. And at the moment, got to regroup. And when they get opportunities like this, they've got to try and make it pay, make it count for England.
Rice sends it in. It's the easiest catch of the day for Mike Maignan, the French goalkeeper, who looks for Mbappe. Keeps it clear of Spence, and Dembele on the charge. Rice looks across towards the assistant on the far side. Henderson makes the save. What a match this is turning into. Olise! Oh, and it spins wide. Flag up.
Oh, sensational play once again. This time from France, you could see, oh, that's so tight. You felt initially Dembele had done enough to get himself back onside. Henderson with a really good save, kept himself big. I think Rice for a second there thought it was over with.
England's cage rattled. Dunia in ahead of Saka. France are winning all the loose balls now. Still got almost 35 minutes to go, and Rabiot finds Cola. Saka gets his foot in for England and is fouled. Right under the referee's nose. For those who like statistics, they are coming thick and fast with this game, must be said. The referee's going to bring the game back here. Mbappe sending it sailing into Henderson's net. Olise has got 6 assists at this World Cup. He's the first player to do that since Pelé in 1970. The great Pelé. Here come England now. Jed Spence. It's England's turn to get into their attacking stride, and they'll have a corner. It's breathless. It's end-to-end. Yeah, it's some game for bronze.
It is, yeah. It's better from England. Jed Spence on the left-hand side. They have to keep utilising him. He's got real pace, and he's always been a real danger. Certainly in the first 45 minutes. With Meccano this time was on it, and he was alert. And since he's come on, Meccano has started the tempo. He's the one that has really lifted the intensity for this France side from the back. And once again, very good defending.
Rice with the delivery into Ivan Toney, and the save by Maignan. Watkins was right there, but couldn't turn it home.
I just wonder whether Ollie Watkins possibly was in an offside position. He sort of jumps out of the way.
Goal kick.
Yeah, delivery's a good one. Tough one to deal with. I think he's onside. Oh. See Ivan Toney, really good header. Ollie Watkins just gets himself out of the way. Maybe needed a touch.
France now venturing forward yet again. It's end-to-end, and that's an important interception for England there by Declan Rice, with Rabiot nearby. Toney. England with a chance to advance here. Saka. Great tracking back, Malagusto.
Yeah, Saka took the wrong option. You can see there, Ollie Watkins making a real big run down the left-hand side. Needed to wait for him. Instead he tries to go inside. So England still have to do. They have to have an out. They have to still look to try and get bodies forward.
Here comes Mbappe once more. play by Konsa. Rice. Brings it away from Zaire Emery. France are relentless in this second half. Olise's got options here. Might not need any of them. Goodness me, that was travelling.
England look like they've got some really tired legs out there once again. Declan Rice doesn't look 100%. Just wonder whether England, Thomas Tuchel, to bring some fresh legs on. Because at the moment they're just being completely overrun. Olise normally should do a lot better from that angle, that area. When he gets space, he's so dangerous and so difficult to stop.
Rice looks as though he's really struggling, actually. Away comes Jed Spence now. Watkins is up there. Saka on the edge of the box. Rodgers arriving too, and now in possession. Eze. Mark Gay. England looking to just regain control of the tempo of the game a little bit. Here's Rice, who opened the scoring early in the first half. Picking out Watkins. Eze, delightful. Ivan Toney challenged. Free kick, France.
Ah, it's a brilliant ball over the top. Unfortunately for Ivan Toney, just couldn't get control of the ball.
Much more like what we would expect to see from a France team. There's the momentum of the game, very much going the way of Les Bleus so far in this second half, and it's almost a mesmerising run from Mbappe, but some excellent skill from Jed Spence, who does superbly well, and now Watkins racing forward. Toney is alongside him, Saka in the box too. Great play from Watkins. Eze. England looking for goal number 5. Dunia with time to head clear. Rice. Watkins looking for Ivan Toney. Dunia there again first. Warren Zaire Emery. This is Barcola. And Olise. Barcola up against Konsa. Mbappe. Dembele. Here's a chance. Straight at Henderson.
Oh, big chance. A really big chance for France. Dembele has to do better. Normally does better. Does everything right. Sells Jed Spence initially the dummy back on his left. Just cannot get the power.
England looking a little bit rattled here at times. "15 attempts on goal from England, 10 from France in the game. 6 goals in the match so far. 8-5 on target in England's favour. Attacking and open, and an enjoyable advert for the game on the big weekend to finish the World Cup with the final itself in New Jersey tomorrow. Here's Zaire Emery. Now it's the turn of France to apply some pressure. Elise loiters. Dembele. Gusto. Oh, he's away from Spence. Block made by Mark Gay. Mbappe. Rogers struggling for somewhere to go before sending it on its way. Watkins rather on his own.
Yeah, it's good play from England in the end, just to get out, making sure they get someone on the end of it. Watkins almost does brilliantly well. Just can't get enough on the header to get across Ivan Toney, who was free in the middle of the pitch. But England have to continue with those outs.
Here come France again. Oh, it's free! It's a historic goal! Kylian Mbappe has scored more goals than anyone else in the history of the World Cup. He's one ahead of Lionel Messi now. Goal number 22. A little bit of World Cup history in Miami.
Oh, it's brilliant from France. A little 1-2 passing, absolutely exceptional. And Mbappe from that sort of area very rarely misses, and what a finish that is. And France are on the up, and this is game on, and this is, at the moment, one-way football practically, and France are just looking in cruise control.
Well, and according to some people, this is a game that doesn't matter too much. Doesn't look that way. What a game! And here comes Mbappe again! England all over the place. And they survive for the time being. But France carry a threat every time they go forward now. The crowd have really come alive inside the stadium. What a match we've got here. We're 3/4 of the way through it. It is time for a well-deserved hydration break for the players. But what excitement surely lies ahead. 4-3. Well, he's not bad, is he, that Kylian Mbappe, Mark? He's averaging a goal a game at the World Cup in his career, 22 goals in 22 appearances. But England are really struggling here now all of a sudden.
Firstly, Mbappe, yeah, what a player. I mean, absolutely world-class. Any doubts about being one of the greats of the game, I think, are being quashed pretty quickly. I mean, he's been exceptional in this second half. Finishes were brilliant. France have just lifted to another level. England have struggled to stay with them. They haven't at times. They look like some very, very tired legs out there. Surprised not a few more substitutions have been made for England. This is a big, big moment of the game for them. And this is still anyone's game. And if anything, moment, you feel like France just have the momentum.
Mbappe has been simply unstoppable in this second half. 2 goals for him, 1 for Bradley Barcola. And suddenly England are rocked back on their heels.
I mean, the ball's in behind, the pace that France have, that was all the threats we saw. We felt they were going to have in the first half that they weren't able to show. And this second half has just come to life. Kylian Mbappe, you just cannot give him time on the ball. He is going to punish you. Obviously has his sights set on that golden boot.
I don't know what was said in the French dressing room at half-time, but clearly it worked. I mean, for Deschamps and for this team and for that set of players and the quality they've got, it was an embarrassing first-half performance, wasn't it? There's no getting away from it.
Absolutely not. It was a really poor performance.
Game on in Miami. Well, like the rest of us, Ryan Shirky there can only watch on and wonder what lies ahead. But plenty to look forward to for the final quarter of this match. Of course, if required, there could be extra time. Extra time is very unusual in the third place match, but who knows what's going to happen in this one. England were coasting at half-time at 4-0 up, and suddenly it's a completely different match.
I think this game falls under the umbrella of unusual. 4-0 up, and now it's 4-3. So anything can happen. We're not writing anything off.
Ready for play to resume. Not a great deal for our referee Jesus Valenzuela to do so far today, apart from keep tabs on the scoreline. England will get the match underway. Just under 20 minutes plus added time to go. Watkins' header. Bonsa in ahead of Barcola. Free kick conceded by Adrian Rabiot.
Yeah, sometimes it's a psychological game for England right now. You know, having that 4-goal cushion, and all of a sudden that's been pulled back to only 1 goal. There's a psychological battle going on in their heads. They've got to not panic still. They've got to continue to control the game as much as they can, because they still have that advantage. They still have control.
Mark Gay fouled by an over-eager Michael Elise. Well, we've just had a little taste since half-time, actually, as to why for so long here during this World Cup. I think most of us felt that France were the team to beat. I mean, they really have been impressive, haven't they, here? And then suddenly they were completely outplayed by Spain, but until that point, they looked terrific.
They did, yeah. I mean, they were obviously completely nullified by Spain, tactically outplayed. In this first 45 minutes, you felt that it was a France side that was certainly hurting massively still after being knocked out by Spain. And it was just going to go from bad to worse, but the magical halftime break, the messages from Deschamps and the substitutions certainly played a massive part on this turnaround of this game.
Yeah, England and France, the two teams to miss out on the place in the final, but it's the first time that the top 4 ranked teams in the world have finished in the top 4 places in the finals at the World Cup. This is Gerald Konsa, based in Germany these days with Bayer Leverkusen. Rodgers. Plenty of attempts on goal in this match. There'll be more to come, I'm sure. Here's Malo Gusto getting the better of Watkins. There's a slightly cooling breeze flowing around the stadium here during this second half. I haven't had too many of those in Miami over the last month or so, and Dembele sending it wide. Here come France again. Gusto and Elise. Unable to make it 4. Just get the feeling it won't be the last opportunity for France to get level.
Gusto's run down the right-hand side was excellent. His cross-in was perfect. Elise is the only piece of the puzzle not to play his part. Normally you back him scoring from there, at least hitting the target.
It's an excellent header by Lacroix. Here comes Elise. Mbappe's loitering just on the edge of the penalty area at the moment. Gusto available, and Zaire Emery as well, who's got the ball now. Here's Mbappe. Lovely play, Dunia. Good pressure this from France. Good play from Kylian Mbappe. Referee says no foul. He's going to blow his whistle for an England free kick, though, for the challenge on Bukayo Saka.
That was a pretty forceful challenge there from Dunia on Bukayo Saka. I don't think there's enough on that challenge on Mbappe to warrant. There's a bit of holding on from both sides. And then the challenge on Saka from Dunia was pretty forceful.
Bukayo Saka certainly felt that, but seems as though he's going to be able to continue. And then getting ready to make a substitution, Jude Bellingham, who scored 6 goals at this World Cup, getting ready to come on. Rodgers, challenged by Lacroix, England losing possession again. It's been a theme of this second half. Here's Mbappe, and Elise, brilliantly taken and well read by Marquet.
Yeah, Marquet, perfectly positioned. Didn't challenge too early, but as the ball was in flight, Elise had his leg up, could have easily given the referee a decision to make, held his calm.
Wave after blue wave, heading for the England penalty area. Mbappe, away to Dembele, Gusto. So much creative talent on the field for France, and Ollie Watkins penalised for the foul.
You just feel like England need a bit more control in midfield. They're lacking that. Could even be a double substitution. Looks like Elliot Anderson's also getting ready to come on. And that's exactly what England needs. Some fresh legs in midfield, trying to regain some control of this game, because they've lost it in the last, well, for a vast majority of the second half.
Yeah, we're going to see Jude Bellingham as well shortly. And from Dembele, swing of the left leg from Eze. England just can't get out for any length of time, which of course was the case in the last 25 minutes against Argentina in the semi-final. Barcola, support here from Dunia, into Mbappe, he's still got it, Mbappe! Challenged by Konsa. Rodgers looks to bring it away. Fouled there by his Villa teammate Dunia, but of course I think neither of them will be playing for them next season. Dunia, it would appear, set for Paris Saint-Germain, and Rodgers are likely signing for Chelsea in the next few days. England making a couple of changes now. Elliot Anderson and Jude Bellingham will come on. Ivan Toney, one of those coming off. And Eze as well.
Yeah, you'll see that there'll be a bit of changing around. Morgan Rodgers going out wide on the left-hand side. Ollie Watkins up through the middle as a number 9, obviously, with Anderson and Bellingham coming on. Anderson in midfield. Jude Bellingham playing that normal sort of number 10 role that he's been playing in this World Cup.
Yeah, and one of the stars of this World Cup, Jude Bellingham, with 6 goals for England, including both here on this pitch last week when they overcame Norway in the quarter-final. Zaire Emery away to Dembele. He's given Jed Spence something else to think about since he's come on. Delicately done, and Spence with the opportunity to clear. Watkins touch, picked up by Bellingham. Watkins will chase, he's got the better of Gusto. Held up by Lacroix, but not dispossessed. Nicely done. Here comes Jude Bellingham for England. He's only just come on the pitch, and Maignan makes the save. It's Rodgers. Excellent block. And away come France with Elise. England unable to restore a 2-goal cushion. Barcola, a away from Kwanzaa. Mbappe. Olise, Dembele, Olise! What a chance! What a glorious opportunity.
Oh, wow, he's had two massive chances, Olise, in the second half. How he's missed, I don't know. I mean, it was brilliant play. It was mesmerising to watch.
What lovely football from France. Well, he's had 20 shots on goal, Elise, at the World Cup and hasn't found the net yet from any of them, but France are playing some great stuff. Meanwhile, our referee is having a little bit of treatment down below us as Kylian Mbappe smiling now at having helped to drag his team back into this bronze medal match. It would appear as if Jesus Valenzuela, the referee, has got a calf issue, receiving a little bit of treatment here.
Well, it has been end-to-end stuff, hasn't it? First 45 minutes, and this second has just been even more relentless. The tempo of the game has lifted dramatically. France have made this a real game in the second half. They've been exceptional to watch. And England, at the moment, are hanging on.
There's the Golden Boot race as it stands. Looking pretty good from Kylian Mbappe's point of view. Lionel Messi, of course, plays tomorrow in the World Cup final. Jarell Quansah on the ground. Well, the pace of the game, one assumes, will really start to take its toll at some point. Interesting second half for the second match in a row for Thomas Tuchel. Reece James is going to come on. Jarell Quansah has a stretcher if he needs it, but isn't interested in that. So Jarell Quansah coming off and Reece James on. So James will just slot in on the right-hand side of England's defence. Distance on that from Henderson. England hanging on a little bit here.
Yeah, what they don't want to do is be camping in their own half, dropping back. They want to try and still win that front foot. We've had a couple of chances in this second half. The best one just recently when Bellingham got on the end of it.
It's been a much more sporadic threat, though, hasn't it, from England?
Well, naturally so, because France showed up in the second half and they've been absolutely magnificent.
France on the attack once more. Anderson can't get hold of Mbappe. Comfortable save.
What England has stopped doing this second half is running in behind. See there, ball went out to the left-hand side. Jed Spence had it. Morgan Rogers is pointing to play it back. There's no real look, no one really looking to get in behind at the moment and try and stretch France. Struggling to find an out.
Match number 103 of 104, and what a treat it's been so far. And what a tidy pass that was from Jude Bellingham as well. Rogers into Jed Spence, who goes down, and England have got a penalty kick here.
Yeah, really good run from Jed Spence. This is the first time in the second half, or certainly only a very few times, where they've got players in the box. You can see there, Morgan Rogers does really well holding the ball up. He's aware that Jed Spence is making the run down the left-hand side as he plays him in. So Malo Gusto just gets his timing completely wrong. Jed Spence is very, very quick. Gets the vital touch in between the legs of Gusto. It's a clear foul to me.
Well, of course, normally it would be Harry Kane from the penalty spot. Kane not playing in this match. Jude Bellingham at the moment at the front of the queue. Well, there's Kane watching on, thinking, well, I could have potentially padded out my record-breaking tally for England. 5 minutes to go. England need this to go in.
They do. You feel like they do really need this to give them that 2-goal cushioner. Even they're saying that doesn't mean that they're safe against this France side. Certainly the way they've played in this second half. Decide to show the France that we expected to see.
And Bellingham hands it over to Bukayo Saka. Well, Bukayo Saka on a hat-trick. Missed a penalty in the final of the Euro in 2020 against Italy, when England ended up heartbroken at Wembley. Can he give England a 2-goal cushion in the closing stages of the match? Bukayo Saka. He can! Great penalty. Maignan, no chance. It's a World Cup hat-trick for Bukayo Saka. Boy, did England need that goal. It's been a long, tough second half. France have come roaring back. But England now lead by 5 goals to 3 with that penalty in the 87th minute. Second time he's scored a hat-trick in an England shirt, but what a big moment for him at the World Cup here in Florida.
Oh, huge moment for Bukayo Saka. Steps up, and it's a really good penalty. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, plants it in that bottom right-hand corner, and completes his hat-trick. It's been very good for England in this game. What they could have done with a very fit Bukayo Saka leading up to this World Cup.
Well, it's only the 4th time an England player has scored a hat-trick at the World Cup finals. Has that extinguished the French fire, or will they come back in the closing minutes of the game? Saka gets it off Luca Digne. Here's Jude Bellingham into Elliot Anderson. Now Rice. Don't get many England hat-tricks in the knockout stages of the World Cup. This is the first one since Jeff Hurst, you know when. Here's Rice. Have England reasserted a measure of control on this game again now? Because they certainly didn't throughout the vast majority of the second half.
Certainly with a 2-goal lead, it does give them far more control, goes without saying. But I think since the substitutions of Anderson and Bellingham, that's changed the game for England. They've obviously fresh legs in midfield. They've gained more control of that midfield. And now they just look a lot more solid and more difficult to break down.
Jed Spence looking for Watkins. Important interception made by Lacroix. Here's Elise looking for options. Spence is never far away, actually, when Elise's got the ball. Gave him a little nudge just to remind him that he was at close quarters. Gusto. Dembele's been waiting quietly over on the far side. Rabiot. Gusto. We're almost at the 90-minute mark. We've got 7 additional minutes to come. Breathtaking match. with 8 goals. Barcola, corner.
I mean, who would bet against an Mbappe hat-trick as well? I mean, there's so much talent on that pitch from France. And of course, the second half performance has been exceptional. So
here comes a late change. Jules Koundé is going to replace Malo Gusto for the little that remains of the game.
Yeah, it looks like he's struggling, Gusto.
It's England's ball, and they won't be in any hurry to take this. Referee just saying, come on, get on with it. Dean Henderson to the near side. What a match we've been treated to here today, Mark. You're smiling as I say it.
Oh, it's been great. I mean, you know, a lot's been said about bronze games. So that man, Bukayo Saka's been exceptional. 5 shots, 4 on target, 3 goals. And I think this is what we'd all hope for. We'd hope for a really entertaining game. 2 teams really throwing themselves at it. Certainly a game of 2 halves, well, we often say.
We've seen a World Cup history as well. The all-time leading goal scored by Kylian Mbappe. He's on a hat-trick now, having scored twice. Dembele. Rice stretching. No foul, and Rodgers brings it away into Bellingham. There will be a free kick there for that challenge from Rabiot. Late change coming for England. We're going to see Trevor Chalobah coming on. He was a late addition to the squad when Tino Livramento pulled out with a calf injury on the eve of the first game, and he's waited patiently, and this is only his 2nd ever England cap, so a small measure of reward for Trevor Chalobah as he comes on for what remains in added time. He'll get 5 minutes or so. Mark Gay, the player to make. Koundé into Dembele. Pressure still on from France. Elliot Anderson able to block. Elise just got away from him. Here's Spence. Upamecano winning it back for France against Watkins, and it's with Mbappe. Be desperate to have another opportunity before the end of the game. Elise can't get the better of Spence again. It's another good game for England's number 25.
Yeah, he's been brilliant. He really has. He's just gone down now. He's got cramps or something. The referee allowing play to go on.
The referee saying carry on, and that's what France are doing. Now the ref is going to stop the game, leaving France frustrated. And the crowd as well.
Well, I can understand it. I can really understand it. I mean, France are still pushing. They want to continue and try and put pressure on England, try and get something out of this game. And to stop the game at that vital moment will be very frustrating.
Jed Spence just about managed to walk over to the far side.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think England have the opportunity of bringing someone on to replace him. Making 5 subs already, so there is pressure going to be for him to get back on that pitch. I think he has to stay off now for a time being.
England short-handed for the time being here in added time. Mbappe can't find a way through. Anderson challenged by Elise. Here's Bellingham. Shows his class there, away from Koundé, and Bellingham on the charge. Intercepted by Upamecano. Morgan Rodgers. Dying embers of the World Cup campaign for these two nations. England on the verge of a 3rd place finish. France looking for a 4th goal. It's Dembele, and they found it. 5-4, a
And obviously England are exposed. Jed Spence off the pitch. Usman Dembele does really well, cuts inside. Chalobah can't stay with him, tries to put the block in. Dembele just picks his spot and curls into that far corner.
Joins the party. And it's a one-goal game once more, but the clock is ticking. There's very little time for France.
Yeah, France capitalised. Poor ball from Declan Rice. Not enough on it. And obviously England are exposed. Jed Spence off the pitch. Usman Dembele does really well, cuts inside. Chalobah can't stay with him, tries to put the block in. Dembele just picks his spot and curls into that far corner.
We've never had more goals than this in a third-place match of the World Cup. The previous record was when France beat Germany 6-3 way back in 1958. England haven't got too much time to see out. Konsa does well there under intense pressure. Reece James. Konsa caught out by Barcola. Nice challenge by Barcola. Rabiot. Is there time for one more attack on England's goal? Jabbed away by James, on by Saka, up towards Watkins, tussling with Upamecano. Collected here by Jude Bellingham. And suddenly, it's France who are backtracking. Bellingham, it's brilliant. Is it going to be number 6? Oh, you bet it is. What a way to sign off at the end of the World Cup. World class. 7th World Cup goal of 2026 for the brilliant Jude Bellingham. France 4, England 6.
Remarkable. Absolutely brilliant finish to the game. Jude Bellingham was absolutely brilliant. He gathers the ball in the centre circle. Just feel like he has to look for options to lay it off. Instead, he's just got so much confidence. Maintaining possession, taking on 2 French players and the goalkeeper. Just never loses his cool. That is world class.
7th World Cup goal for him. That's a new record for an English player at a World Cup finals. And it was the last kick of the game, and it was some response to deep disappointment in the semi-finals, ultimately from both sets of players, but from England, who raced into a whirlwind 4-0 half-time lead. France was so poor in the opening 45, came back brilliantly in the second half. We saw a record-breaking goal from Kylian Mbappe. He hit 2, and a record-breaking 22nd World Cup goal all-time. He leads the race for the Golden Boot by 2, ahead of Lionel Messi. 10 goals for Mbappe now, 8 for Lionel Messi. A hat-trick for Bukayo Saka, and a wonderful sign-off from Jude Bellingham with the last kick of the World Cup. France 4, England 6. Wow, what a game.
Absolutely brilliant. They've been magnificent. This game was highly entertaining from start to finish. Obviously very one-sided in that first 45 minutes, but the second half came to life. France really made a game of it in the second half, and England had to find more gears, more levels. And in the end, they had enough to see this game out and do it quite comfortably in the end.
I mean, it was a special moment for Jude Bellingham. There's Declan Rice, who set England on the road to victory with his early goal. But his 7th goal at the World Cup. No one's ever scored 7 for England at a World Cup. Harry Kane has scored 6 previously, and here as well. and Gary Lineker with 6 in Mexico in 1986. So Bellingham breaking new ground. We've seen a few records along the way, and a word about that man there, Kylian Mbappe, and a historic couple of goals for him today. Ultimately, not the desired result for him, and not the way that Didier Deschamps would have wanted to go out, but we have a new all-time leading goal scorer in the history of the competition.
Yeah, we do, and I think, firstly, the recovery from France, their change of attitude, approach to the game was really telling and significant. And Mbappe, we saw some brilliant football from Mbappe and co. Elise. I mean, it could have easily have been a different scoreline. Elise had 2 huge chances, and had he have scored those, the game would have been different. Harry Kane, devastated, I think, deep down that he didn't get a chance to play in this game. There were so many goals up for grabs. I think it's a befitting way for both these teams to finish the tournament. For France, we're disappointed they lost the game 6-4, and certainly for Deschamps, after what a career he's had managing the national team, to finish on a low point like this is possibly going to be difficult for him to take. However, England will be delighted to have finished on a positive, and that second half performance and the way, well, first half first and foremost, and in the second half, the way they dug deep, the way they came back into the game, was also something to take forward.
It's the first time in almost 100 years that England have put 6 past France. 99 years ago, 1927, they were 6-0 winners in Paris. But a happier end to the World Cup for Thomas Tuchel.
See the guys getting together with both sides after the game, spending some moments together.
The game played in the best spirit possible. Very little for the referee to get involved in. So much attacking play to enjoy from both sides. What a career he's had, Didier Deschamps. We should mention him as well. His 186th and final game in charge of France. The record books, some of them say 187, but he wasn't in charge for one of the games here because unfortunately he had to return to France following the death of his mother. But what a record. He's won the World Cup as a player and a manager.
Yeah, and took obviously France to another World Cup, which they lost a monumental battle against Argentina back in 2022. Took them to the semi-final here in 26. His win record is pretty sensational as well. I think the most successful for a French manager, longest serving. So
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Astaghfirullahalazim. Alladzi la ilaha illa huwal qayyum wa atubu ilaih. Astaghfirullahalazim. Alladzi la ilaha illa huwal qayyum wa atubu ilaih. Astaghfirullahalazim. Alladzi la ilaha illa huwal qayyum wa